Year 3, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about 3D shapes. Now, yesterday we talked about 2D shapes. I was wondering if you can already think about what is the difference between a 2D shape and a 3D shape. Hopefully you remember that 2D shapes stand for two-dimensional. So these are flat, you can't pick them up, you can see them visually. You might see them in patterns and things, but you actually can't physically pick it up. Whereas a 3D shape is a three-dimensional shape. So it's a solid, it's an object. For instance, here I have a 3D shape. So here you can see that there's a 2D shape, a square, but within my 3D shape. Do you know what this 3D shape is called? Well, let's find out. So we're going to be learning the names of 3D shapes. We're going to learn how they're made and ways to describe them and think about shapes that are all around us, because that's your task for today. So this is exactly what we said. A 2D shape is a flat object. Normally you can think this, well, this is definitely a square. You see this, you can't pick it up. Obviously here we're looking at this, so my cube, I cannot pick it up either. But if I look around me, I can see examples of cubes, of cuboids, of cylinders, of spheres, etc. So what is this shape? What is this 3D shape? Hopefully you remembered it's a cube. Can you think of any objects which are the shape of a cube? So I've already shown you one, my watch case. Can you think of any others? What do we use in math class to count our deans? Do we have any cubes there? Exactly, we have our deans, we have die. Here's a Rubik's Cube, presents. We have lots of cubes around us. Now, it's important to remember a cube is based from a square, the 2D shape of a square. And that is the difference between a cube and this shape. Because this shape, its 2D shape that it's based from, is a, what's this shape? A rectangle. So they do look similar. For instance, here, this is nearly a cuboid. It's not a cube. So what is the difference? I've told you as well, it's a cuboid. There we go. Can you think of any that are a cuboid, same shape? Look around you. Do you see any cuboids around? I bet you see a lot. Television, buildings, cereal boxes, books are cuboids, picture frames. We have lots of cuboids around us. What is this? Now, it's not a ball. A ball is this shape. Can you think of, this is probably one of my favorite ones. It starts with sphere. It's a sphere. Can you think of any other objects? I know you've probably thought of a ball, a globe, some fruit, lots of different things that are sphere shapes. Oh, this is a nice one. Sometimes we don't remember this one, but if you turn it around, if you rotate it, think of what that is. What do we love to eat from it? A cone. Think of your ice cream cone. Ice cream cone, megaphone, party hat, etc. What is this one? Bit different here. I have an example of this. It's a shorter one. It's the same 3D shape. What is this 3D shape? It is a cylinder. Now you might see lots of cylinders in your kitchen. Lots of cylinders are used to hold things. There's some examples of them. Oh, and we know this one already. Now we have though different types of pyramids. So this one, what 2D shape is making up? This is the bottom of this pyramid. We said a square, because this is a square-based pyramid. And we saw lots of those when we studied ancient Egypt. This is a different type, and we call this a triangular prism. Now it might look a little bit like a pyramid, but we're going to call this a triangular, because you have triangles here, prism. Okay? For example, Toblerone chocolate, delicious. So let's think about how can we describe them. And again, we've not covered all the 3D shapes. Your challenge has an example of lots of different ones. We're going to talk about a few, but there's many other 3D shapes around. So, and it's very important because sometimes you will see vertices and corners being used interchangeably. So it's good for you to know that we have those different words to describe them so you understand what it's saying. So 3D shapes can be described through ways, like we said, vertices, faces, and edges. So here you can see vertices, very similar 2D shapes where two angles meet. We have faces, that's where your 2D shape is coming from, and you have edges. So let's look at that a little bit more closely. Faces or sides, we're going to call them faces, and all 3D shapes have faces. So it's a flat surface of a solid. So for instance, here, this is one face, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The best way to remember for a cube is thinking of a dice, and your die, and that you only have 6, a maximum of 6. So that can help you remember that. Edges are where the two faces meet. So here I have the one face, here's my other face. This is my edge, goes along. So this are all the edges. You can see that one really nicely there. There's my face, this is my other face. You can see that edge right there. And all 3D shapes also have edges apart from a sphere. We're going to look at the reason why. Now you can have a flat edge like we've seen here. You can see that's very flat, but you can also have a curved edge. So you see the same thing with faces. You can have curved faces and flat faces, curved edges and flat edges, rounded at the end. Now, corners or vertices. So this is a point where two or more edges meet. And it's important to remember this definition because a lot of people might think this is where the pointy bits are. It's ouch, this is the pointy bits. These are my corners on my vertices. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is also, and it's important to know that this is where those edges are meeting. So here I have 1, 2, 3 edges are meeting here to make that point, that vertice, that corner. Same thing, 1 edge, 2 edge, 3 edge. So they meet here to make that. So let's look at our cube. Like I said, what 2D shapes are making our 3D shapes. So here I have a cuboid actually, because you can see it's from a rectangle. So this is a rectangle face. Here I have a square face. And here, what do I have? A circular face. Now, let's look at a cube. So how do we put this all together? Well, a cube has 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember your dice. That are square shaped. We've talked about that. So a cuboid has 6 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That are, instead of squares, they're rectangular based. They have 12 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here they are, 12 edges and 8 vertices. We already saw that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing with the cuboid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, you have to do the other side as well. Sometimes it's good if you can ask your adult, but if you can get some kind of pen or marker that washes away and then you can trace it. So you can really see that and remember which ones you haven't done. So these have 12 edges as well, just like a cube, and 8 vertices as well, just like a cube. So a cube and a cuboid, just like a square and a rectangle, are very similar. Now, a cone. Here you can see that a cone has 2 faces, and this is what we were talking about. Here, the bottom of our cone is a circular base, or so if you had a party hat on and it was covered and closed, that is your circular flat face. And then this one, it's going around it, so that's actually a curved face. So you have 1, 2. Now you only have 1 edge here because this, even though it might look like an edge, it's not an edge because remember, an edge is where 2 faces meet. So our edge is actually a curved edge It goes around here. This is our curved edge. Now, it says 0 vertices. Well, I'm confused because this looks like a vertex to me. Isn't that a pointy bit? No, because remember, vertices are where two edges meet. And since this is a curved vertex, since this is a curved edge, it does not have a vertex. So even though this looks like it's a vertex, it's not, because it's kind of an illusion that the paper is going around and making it look like that, but it's not actually. We can call this an apex instead. So that's very important to remember. Here, cylinder as well. So we have one face here, and then the other face is at the bottom. You can't see it, but this is similar to here. I have this face, one, and then I'm going to turn it around. There's my other face, two. So it's the same thing. This is my one, and at the bottom, because it's laying down like this, it's at the bottom. That's my two. And our edges, this is where they meet. So one, this curved edge, one and two. And again, no vertices here. Our sphere, well, our sphere only has one face. And it's a flat face or a curved face? It's a curved face, just like our cylinder here. It's curved. Okay, so that means there's no edges because it's just one face. So it can't meet anywhere because it's just the one of them. And there's 0 vertices because there's 0 edges, so the edges can't meet either. Our square base pyramid. So our 5 faces. So remember, we have our bottom one, this one, 2, 3, and then the other side. So 4 is that one, and then 5 is that. So sometimes it is difficult just looking at the picture because you have to think closely and visualize where it is. So it is always better if you can find or make those 3D shapes and play around with them, or as well just try to memorize it as well. So a square base, if you think about that, well, I know that my square is that one face, and then it's coming up and around to make my pyramid. And that's 4 on the top and 1 at the bottom, so that's 5. Our edges, let's have a look at that. So remember, our edges are where our faces meet. So already here we have our square, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the rest going up because these two triangles are meeting here. So that's 5, 6, 7. Why is there only 7? Of course, because we need to think it's back there. So these ones are lined up, but it would be back there. And that's your 8. 8 edges. And then our vertices, let's see, where do those edges meet? Well, we have, oh, look at these 4 triangle edges are meeting there. So that's 1. Here's the 3 of them. 2, 3. We have this, and the square. 4. Oh, remember that other side, it's hiding. 5. So 5 faces, 5 vertices, and 8 edges. Triangular prism, very similar. 5 faces, 1, 2. This one's on the bottom, 3, 4, other side, 5. Edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then across 9. And then our vertices, where the edges meet, 1, 2, 3, and then on the other side, 4, 5, 6. And we've already talked about our cuboid earlier. Cuboid, again, is very similar to our cube, except for it's rectangular based here. But here, look, sometimes it can also have a square based on this part. It does. Some shapes you can have a square based at one of the face or rectangles, but they're not all identical. Whereas a cube, they're all identical. All right. Here's a nice poem for us to remember on 3D shapes. 3D shapes are fat, not flat. Remember, you can pick them up. They're not flat objects. A cone is like a party hat. A sphere is like a bouncy ball. A prism is like a building tall. A cylinder is like a can of pop, soda pop, Coca-Cola, etc. A cube is like the dice you drop. 3D shapes are here and there. 3D shapes are everywhere. So we've learned a lot about faces, vertices, edges, and how to describe them in their names. So what you're going to do is go on a shape hunt. So here, for instance, they found a tissue box. They said it's a cuboid, and they counted how many faces, how many edges, how many vertices, and they've taken the 2D shape that it's made. If you just want to say six rectangular faces, you can also say that. So for instance, if I take this, I'm going to say my wood cushion, the cushion, going to be in our book corner at some point. This is our cushion. What 3D shape is this? It's a cylinder. So then I would count how many faces does it have, how many edges, and how many vertices, and I would put there. And then as well, what are the faces? What 2D shape is this? A circle. So I would put that there. Your challenge. Now you can actually use this page to help you if you need to remember some of these points. But here we have some things that are missing. So each line, each row has something that's missing. So a sphere, it says 0 flat faces. Well, we know that. 1 curved face, okay? 0 edges, either curved or flat. We know that. And vertices. Does the sphere have any vertices? Well, of course not, because there's no edges that are meeting. So that would be 0. And then here, oh, the name of this shape is missing. What is this shape called? Oh. So then you would put that answer there. Cuboid. How many? It's saying that it has 0 curved faces. Oh yes, I can see that. It's not like a cone with that curved face. How many flat faces are there? Hopefully you can remember that cuboids are very similar to cube. Going on, what did we call this again? What's that shape called? Oh, a cylinder. Are there any vertices in a cylinder? Are any edges meeting anywhere? A square-based pyramid. How many faces does it have? It has 0 curved. How many flat? And we didn't look at the rest of these, but you can see tetrahedron. Ooh, what is that? Does it have any curved faces? Curved edges, sorry? Triangular prism. How many faces? Pentagonal prism. Now remember, pent meaning 5. Does it have any curved faces though? Hexagonal meaning 6. And it's asking for flat faces. Octagonal prism meaning 8. Well done. How many faces does it have? Ooh, have to count those carefully. And an octahedron. And then here it's asking how many curved, does it have any curved edges? So that is your job today. Again, you can use this. There's lots of information as well on 3D shapes. Have a look around in the house to see what you have at home. And I hope you enjoy this. Bye-bye.